I came across this book at least a decade ago.
Okay.
And the book is called Influence. And if you are a marketer and you're listening to this podcast and you have not read this book, you're a poser. I'm sorry, dude. You're not a marketer.
It's a fact.
Dude or dudette, you are not a marketer.
Actually,
until you read this book called Influence.
Okay, so there's six principles, right? And they're basically all these automatic behaviors that we have. So number 1, reciprocity. Okay? He says we all have a natural obligation to reciprocate. What does that mean to you from a marketing perspective?
Yeah, so a great example of reciprocity is, have you ever been over to, DHG is too young, so she hasn't been. Have you ever been over to Costco?
I have.
Okay. So you go to Costco.
But I don't know where you're going with this.
Okay. You go into Costco.
Yeah.
And you walk around. And there are all these people that are sitting there with little tasters.
The samples?
The samples, right? So you go up to the samples.
I never thought of the samples as reciprocity.
Come on, man.
Damn.
You go up to the samples. So you go into Costco and they have these people that are standing that are free samples. And it'll be samples of chips, samples of drinks, samples of candy, samples of heated food, frozen food. And what they're doing, because Costco got that from you know who they got that from?
Who?
Sam Walton.
Pretty good.
Walmart.
Pretty
Okay.
good.
So they got that. And so what that is an example of reciprocity. If you take a sample from someone, you're more inclined to want to do business with that person or want to even buy that product. That is why they have those samples out there. And so that's an example of reciprocity.
He says another person can trigger a feeling of indebtedness by doing us an uninvited favor. So even if the favor is uninvited, even if you didn't want it, if I say, here you go, have this.
And that's how come we're willing to do something. I'm willing to do something for anyone who leaves a 6-star review. Shouts out Amy and DHD in there.
In all honesty, that's why we're okay with spending a bunch of money buying books and giving them away, because you're going to help spread the word for the show. Yep. We're going to give you this book.
Exactly. And it's just goodness.
So number 1, reciprocity. Number 2, by the way, this is like this. You don't have to read the book. You have to read the book, but we're giving it to you.
It's okay. You don't have to read it.
Number one, reciprocity. And by the way, this is literally a checklist that Cialdini gave us. He gave us a card. It is on my desk now. This is if you know one thing about marketing.
You should have seen.
It was the coolest thing.
Seen the young
it was the
buck
coolest
over
thing.
here.
I should get it.
He was like a little kid.
He gave me this little card.
His
and it had
eyes
these 6.
were shiny.
I keep it in my notebook. You don't need anything else. You follow these 6 things. So number 1, I was amazing.
It was like Santa Claus.
It was really cool. It was really cool. Number 1, reciprocity. Number 2 is social proof.
Come on,
this is one that seems so obvious to marketers, but how many websites do you go to? How many landing pages do you go to that there's no social proof?
All of them, all the bad ones. Even the first versions of most of our pages. And one of the first things that I point out is that we need social proof. So an example of social proof is you need faces and testimonials, right? You need, if you've ever watched an infomercial, you know that 80% of the infomercial, if not 90% of the infomercial, is testimonials, right? One after another, after another, after another.
You know who is a legendary testimonial guy?
Who?
A legendary social proof.
Who?
Billy Mays.
Billy Mays, testimonial. DHG is too young for that. She's like, what's
Billy Mays.
What's an infomercial?
Billy Mays would literally smash his foot with a hammer to show you that his foot was not getting injured.
Yeah,
that is social proof. He would seal up a thing and then put water in it and show you.
Yeah, the testimonials were the social proof. So that's the social proof. So everything has to have social proof because we make decisions based on that. If you go to Amazon.com and you go buy a product, you will see the ratings and reviews. And the reason the ratings and reviews are there are to trigger social proof.
Social proof number 2.
Actually, almost all of these things that we're talking about
Amazon
is on the Amazon product page. And so we'll maybe, if you're good, we'll give you an example of, we did a mock-up. I did a markup of an Amazon page showing, this was internal only at Drift, showing people how all of these things are triggered on every Amazon page.
And so Cialdini is he's a doctor. He's a psychologist, right? PhD. And he said the scientific definition is one means we use to determine what is correct is to find out what other people think is correct, right? So if you're making a decision, show me the 10 people who already did this. I'm more likely to do it. So that's number 2, social proof. Number 3 is really underrated, I think. Not a lot of people talk about this one, and this one is commitment. You remember this one?
Yeah, I remember all of these.
I know you do.
So commitment. Charlie Munger would call this commitment consistency bias.
Yes.
Right? If you look at that. I can't believe
pretty good. That's
the young
pretty
guy
good. That's pretty good.
Trying to quiz me on cognitive bias.
Elias, come in here. Elias, come in here. We're talking about Cialdini.
Oh, when you guys met him?
Yeah.
What happened with Cialdini?
We're just talking about his book, the principles, social proof, commitment, reciprocity.
Elias is shy.
This is the first time he's ever been shy. Unbelievable. Like this is a live broadcast.
All right. So commitment, consistency. This is how we do things here at Drift. Commitment, consistency, bias.
Yes.
So the bias here is, and the way that Charlie Munger describes it, is that once we make a decision, we are more likely to stick to our decisions and be stubborn about that decision, and that's called commitment consistency. So the more, as soon as we make a commitment, we have a bias to want to stick to that commitment and not retreat from that.
This is why the gym membership thing is such a powerful model, right?
Mm-hmm. Because the gym membership thing is a perfect example here, right? So gym membership, the way that model works is that you join, and somewhere like a Planet Fitness, which is big in the United States, you go, it's like $9.99 a month, $9.99. It costs nothing.
Nothing.
But once you've made that commitment, you almost never cancel, because in the mind, and this is commitment bias, in the mind you think, I'm going to go next week. I'm going to go next month.
Yeah.
Why would I cancel it? It's just too much worry.
Or you don't cancel because you don't want what canceling your membership says right?
About you.
You might have never gone. You might have never gone to the gym once in that year.
Yeah.
But if
Don't
you
look at me
cancel
when
it,
you say
I'm
that.
not looking at you. If you cancel it, then you know that the chance is never going to happen. And so by keeping your membership open, you know you're more likely to go.
I have, I went
Commitment
to the gym
bias.
today.
You did?
Yeah, YMCA.
Respect.
YMCA.
Okay.
All
The
right.
Y. What's up?
I also belong to the Equinox,
Okay.
but I went to the Y.
All right. So reciprocity, number 1. Social proof, number 2. Commitment, number 3.